Alright everybody, welcome to the penultimate episode of the Nubian campaign for Crusader Kings 2, and this is going to be the penultimate episode for a couple of reasons. First off, it's going to be really long, and that's because I'm not really sure what was wrong with me when I was recording this footage the first time, but I'm going to keep going with it. And of course, I mentioned in the previous video that I forgot to change my OBS settings for my microphone, so all the original audio was basically lost. And so now we are looking around for things to do, places to conquer. Here to do in the last bit of this series. So we can see the Byzantines are trying to revoke a title over here. Good for them. We've had counties defect from the Kingdom of Trebizond. Again, can't really do anything about that because they've all joined together in one single crazy alliance. The Persians over here still fighting a holy war with the Gardazids over stuff that theoretically is de jure Persian stuff. The Gardazids' color has changed from green to some sort of light gray. Not sure exactly what that's all about, but I assume that they lost a title somewhere. Possibly we broke the Arabian Empire. I think it's possible that they got reduced to a kingdom title. Or maybe, and therefore they're no longer the big green color they were before. This way they kind of look similar in color to the Sultanate of Guj, but whatever. So there are wars going on, and in fact I believe that is a Mongol army that is hanging out in the middle of nowhere, and the Gardazids make a pretty tempting target, but we have to be underneath 75% of threat level in order to go after them. So you can see they're fighting a multitude of wars. They've moved their capital to Isfahan in Persia. The Egyptians now are attacking the Duchy of Bahrain in a holy war, so we've got more activity going on down there. I think I'd actually rather have Sana'a than Bahrain, but if the Egyptians were able to take Bahrain, it would mean that their levies could be used very close to where a war with the Gardazids or the Sultanate of Guj would occur in real life. Meanwhile, we've still got guys out in Tabulistan. We have our mercenary / retinue army wandering around looking for something to do. This is our successor, King Samson of Persia, and he's fighting, looks like he might be fighting the Byzantines as well as the Gardazids. But yeah, lots of stuff going on. You can see the Gardazids still have their holdings in Central Asia, still have their holdings in, I guess, northwest India or perhaps modern Pakistan. Hard to tell. And because we control the Duchy of Zabulistan, we've reached out into Afghanistan. Our son's raising his crown authority in Persia, which is okay with me. People are coming and going from the defensive alliance against me. Again, not the biggest deal right now. And we're sort of trying to get, look at a place. I mean, I guess in theory I could attack the Indians in Guilot, except that there's actually an Eastern alliance against me too, which is also a problem. And interestingly enough, the Eastern alliances, as you guys are going to see, have a secret of their own that they decided not to tell me until later on here. But there's a Gardezid army fighting a Indian army down there in the bottom. Kind of cool. And I really have, there's a couple of places I can attack de jour when I get under 75%. One of them is Zanung or whatever, which is this province right here. And I can attack that de jour for the Duchy of Zabulistan. The theory behind doing that would be that instead of being a holy war, which would gain a bunch of territory, if we attack that territory by itself, our threat level would be less likely to get up. But as you can see, even though we're under 75% threat level, the Eastern and Muslim defensive pacts have decided to join against us, which I don't think makes a ton of sense, since the Muslim defensive pact is supposed to be they're a separate religion from the Eastern defensive pact. The Eastern defensive pact is a mess because it involves Hindus, but it also includes the great Khagan of the Mongol Empire. So we're going to be going to war with a lot of really strong folks. And in fact, that's what we've decided to do here. Now, we've already got some positive war score because we've inherited some of the progress that the Persians have made against the Gardezids. But now we need to get an army out to the war target. And we also have this issue of what's going to happen if the Gardezids manage to call in all their friends, because currently these friends are fighting them. Will they peace out immediately? So will I have to fight all 19,000 of these men who are currently engaged down in Guilot? Right, well, for the moment, I'm going to grab the Persian levy, since they're real close, and I'm going to go ahead and send them down into the province in question. And now I need to see how many troops I'm actually fighting. Wait a minute, there's a big Gardezid force in the north that I was not aware of. So instead, I'm going to send the Persian levy to go fight the smaller Gardezid army in the south. I'm hoping that's not a problem. Okay, I'm reading Christian literature, I think, to improve my learning. I've invited somebody to hang out, which probably means that must have meant I was recruiting commanders between the two episodes. Okay, I have these guys. These are I think they're my retinue and barbarian guys. They're kind of exposed here, given the size of some of the enemy forces that are already operating in the area. So we'll just have to see how some of that goes. Of course, if things go bad, we can always bring in the Egyptian levy. And at this point, the Egyptian levy is like worth 30,000 troops. But we're going to raise our own levy, put our new commander in his place. And our own levy is pretty beefy right now, given King Matthias's martial score and the amount of improvements that we've been doing to our royal holdings over time in Egypt and in Kush proper. So now the issue is, can I cheaply grab some victories here? Now there's an 11,000 man Muslim army here capable of joining up with the 4,300 Muslim army to the northwest. So those would be threats to my 5,000 man army. I also have another another army that's moving in the north. We'll probably need to unify it with my army in the south. And just be careful. We're going to go ahead and convert our newly minted commander. Unfortunately for us, at the moment, okay, we got another commander coming in. For the moment, it looks like the Indian troops, who are now losing rather drastically to the Gardesian army down there. Those troops aren't fighting us. However, there are now hostile armies that have appeared in the territories of the Guilat, and we converted somebody. Yay. Somebody died, so we need to move our child. Not to her. She is, well, actually, she's just not very good. We're just looking for people whose opinion we need, and I think our counselor is the person whose opinion we need much of. So now we've got a brand new commander who's pretty good, and we also need him to convert. He is unmarried. We can fix that. We can also make sure he doesn't marry a someone who would take him back to his old Miaphysite ways. So we can definitely look at that. But it's not crucial right now. Let's see if there's somebody in court. Oh yeah, there's this lady who they, okay, well, there you go. They're close in age. Hopefully that'll work out for us. All right, got a little bit of attrition going on with my forces coming from the north here. I think one of these guys represents the Syrian levy, but I'm not sure, again, going back over this, which army it is, whether it's the one in the middle or the one up north. Probably the one in the middle makes more sense. But I'm trying to unify these forces so they would be big enough to take on the Muslim armies that are kind of joining up in this area also. All right, we've gotten the ability to create a couple more duchies, and that's because Egypt has successfully defeated the Gardazids in the Holy War for Bahrain. So we now control Bahrain, which means we also have the ability to raise Egyptian forces really close to our Persian territories. So we can bring in reinforcements very quickly if we need to. I also need to find somebody to make Duke of Bahrain. One of my generals is either dead or I never gave this army a third general. I think he's dead, because so this would be a good place. All right, so here's one of my other armies. There we go. Just need those commanders for the better battle statistics, because we've got there are a lot of Islamic forces. Well, I use the term Islamic. I guess I should be fairly loose about that, because some of these guys could be part of the Eastern alliance against me, in which case they wouldn't necessarily have to be Muslims. I don't know what the majority religion in the Mongol Empire is right now. All right, so now we can raise forces. The only problem is, of course, the supply limits are going to get to us, because putting 35,000 troops in Arabia, a place that's mostly desert, not the best idea in the world. So what we're going to have to do is split the army in half and hope that the army survives and goes to goes north and finds places that it can feed itself. There's going to be a brief concern about the army trying to all move at once. But I really don't want to. You don't want to lose troops through attrition if you can, in that way, if you can possibly avoid it. All right, we got another general spot to fill in. This is right now. The army's just kind of moving. It's not going to be heavily engaged yet, so I'm not too concerned about having the best generals in charge. Whereas some of my other armies are about to fight battles, and I would definitely want the best modifiers there. For instance, it looks like my Persian levy is about to fight a smaller Gardazid force and then be sandwiched by a bigger Gardazid force. Now that's a problem. All right, now the Lollard Bible is showing up in my collection. The king of Syria was a Lollard a couple of videos ago, and they've really neutered the piety event for reading somebody else's Bible. Used to be worth 200 points, now it's only worth 25. And we got beat with the larger army in the Persian highlands. That is not good. We need to crush these people. Of course, these troops over here are my personal levy. There are about a little over 10,000 of them here, and we need to send them. I mean, now they're kind of. It's crucial that they get there, but again, it's a supply issue. It's where do we send them? looks like the Gardesids are trying to balance their war with me and their other wars going on, so they're kind of moving guys away from me, which doesn't make a ton of sense. But on the other hand, the place I'm supposed to be taking over in Zabulistan is not far from that location. And now we have a negative war score because all the Egyptian help that we had from their conquest of Bahrain has gone away. So now we've got a couple of forces sieging down territory in what's left of the Gardesid hold on Persia. Okay, I could evidently lose a county somewhere, or a barony somewhere. I'm not too concerned about that. Oh, because his wife outranks him, and they've had a kid. And the kid will inherit her duchy as well as his county, unless she survives long enough and we were to murder him. You know, we're not going to worry about it. It just gets, at this point in the game, we're 10 years away from the end. There's just no reason to really worry about that. So now there's a humongous Gardesid army in the southeast. So no reason to move our forces further in to pursue, because we may need them to come together for support against a giant Gardesid army. We have our own, more of our own forces moving into the area, and our forces that retreated from Persia are now in Kuwait, and they can be used to supplement either one of our besieging forces, but basically give us an army that I'm not too concerned is going to get destroyed just out of nowhere. And we're suffering a little bit of attrition in Isfahan, but honestly, I don't know where else to send our guys. I mean, I guess I could theoretically send them into the Horn of Arabia here. All right, well, now we've got a little fight between us and one of the Islamic allies going on. All right, we're converting things. We won the battle. And so now we need to keep going, because we still at that minus war score. A couple sieges seem to have turned that around a bit. Right, we've combined the elements of the old army with some more troops from behind. Probably hold them back as some sort of reserve in the county of Tigris at the moment, because those counties can actually support them. You know, the counties that are actually on the Euphrates and Tigris rivers have decent supply limits. It's just all these counties that are in the Zagros Mountains that don't. And we're going to use our reserve army now, take advantage of the situation. Okay, well, we lost some, we had some stuff that got sieged out somewhere. Our chaplain has converted Algeciras, the county of Algeciras, to Catholicism, so we need to move him too, though that doesn't have anything to do with our war. You can see that this tiny army, Islamic army, is sieging out stuff in the northern part of our Persian holdings, which is the reason that we're getting those negative siege messages. And at this point, I don't really know who I would want to get reinforcements from, but nothing's terribly convenient anyway. Because I think I'm pretty much committed the Egyptian, Syrian, and Persian levies. Okay, here's a small Islamic army that evidently either... I can't imagine they landed forces down there. They probably came somewhere else. Okay, we're getting more bad news about sieges in other places. All right, we successfully adding to our successful siege total. All right, we've got a we've got a title we can usurp, so let's go ahead and do that. We can usurp the Duchy of Cordoba. I guess from the Kingdom of Castile. I'm not really sure who. And I'm just, you know, if the King of Mauritania doesn't have a duchy title that would make it problematic for him, we're just going to go ahead and give the title to him, and we'll let him figure out what he's actually going to do with it. At this point, France has completely absorbed the territories of the Duchy of Tlemcen, and I believe the Corsicans and Sardinians have also been eaten by French vassals. And my Egyptian friends are fighting a Muslim army here in the south, so I might have to end or redo my sieging to deal with that problem. Okay. Yeah, we can't really do anything there. This is the African levy that we can still raise over here in Arabia. So let's go ahead and do that. There's just, right at the moment, there just seems to be some annoying things that we need to take care of. And this war is having too much back and forth for my taste. Of course, it helps the fact that we have no troops on the war target. Oh, and there's some angry Allied troops. Okay, well, we're gonna need, yeah, we're gonna need another general in charge for when you guys run into those guys, because I really thought the big problem was gonna be this Muslim army down here that we could just sort of run off, but no, it's gonna be the Indians. Oh, good, we got back into positive war score. It took us long enough. We'll probably get kicked out of it, you know, the next time that the tiny Muslim army decides to besiege something else that I can't really get to it in. We've got a couple more holdings before we siege out one of the provinces down here. I see there's another allied army that's sieging my stuff. By allied army, I mean the ally of the Gardazids. Okay, well, the Indians have decided that instead of challenging my army in Zabulistan, they're going to besiege another county in Zabulistan. And that's where Kandahar is fallen. Of course, all that stuff. Oh, wait a sec. Grand Princess Linmilla the Ill Ruler has declared war for the claim on Kush. Okay. Wait, what? So I get that this lady has a claim. I don't get where she is. I lost a general. Okay, kind of in a hurry here, guys. I'm trying to find this lady who's trying to kill me. Okay, we won a battle. That's good. It'd be nice if we could unsiege some of the stuff that they've sieged. That'd probably help out our war score a bit. Okay, but where is this? 7,000 men. Where is this person who's now declared war on me? Where is she hang out? Not Ruthenia. Oh no, you can't. Really? She controls a duchy of Russia? Gee whiz, I didn't really pay much attention to who I was marrying people off to, I guess. Alright, well, there's no way she can have a huge amount of forces. But, okay. I'm trying to either learn more or do more martial. I'm not sure which. All right, I'm moving forces to go intercept one of the Muslim armies that's still trying to siege me out of stuff. And we're now actually on top of the war target in Zabulistan. All right, the Gardazids have managed to string enough allied forces together so that their army and my army are about the same size. I need a third general here. We're going to go grab Constantinos, even though I'm pretty sure he was besieging somewhere far away. And we're going to use the enemies to wipe out the peasant rebels in the region. And gain some martial skill. Okay, we were victorious in a siege. Now we have to win this battle. Okay, have we sieged out every... No, we still have to siege out one more thing. And we're going to be in Isfahan for a while, sieging stuff. But I have two armies here. Okay, Second Army, I don't know what your deal is. But I really need you to be doing something else. Because supposedly the Russians are coming. All right, we're going to go ahead and try to convert Antioch back to, I think it's Antioch. It might be the little town above Antioch, Tortosa, or sorry, below Antioch. Okay, looks like we're winning. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this 7,000 man army. I think we're going to try to besiege the other territory. It looks like we're losing the battle in Persia. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, all right. The Gardeses decide to give up on the war, which I'm okay with. There's some title we can usurp, which, generally speaking, I believe is a good idea. Oh, it's two titles. It's the Duchy of Tigris and the Duchy of Basra. Okay, well, we're going to have to you know, the duchy, these are territories that are in, I think I gave control of the Kingdom of Al Jazeera to Persia. All right, so here's my old friend, the Count, or my old friend, the General, who we turned into a Count. Now we can try to give him stuff in this area. I mean, he controls, I think, 2 counties that are sort of within this territory. But we don't want to keep these ducal titles that we just usurped, because everybody would be too mad that we're doing so. I also have to get all my armies out of Gardezid territory and over to somewhere more useful. That's not going to be easy. All right, so what do I want to do with the Duchy of Tigris here, or Tigris? Now, my 71-year-old friend, you, sir, are going to be the new Duke of Tigris. Oops. Okay, I made a boo-boo there. Because I included all the titles below the Duke of Tigris, I gave him, I think, the county of Tigris I was holding on to, and I think there's a barony in that county I lost. So now my domain score is down to 10, even though we can have a max of 12. But there's nothing we can do about that now. It's not. Hopefully, it won't be that big of a deal. A couple of our armies we can. Well, actually, there's no reason to disband them necessarily because we are still at war, courtesy of the crazy throne claimant. That being said, I don't think we're going to need the entire army to fight this war. So we're going to disband some of the troops, particularly the levies. Any of the major vassal levies. This army doesn't really have a lot of those forces. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to send the retinue and the mercenaries. Oh yeah, that's right. We're still in somebody else's territory. Let's send the retinue and the mercenaries into Russia and see if I can end that conflict quickly. I don't really want I really don't want to wait for them to send troops all the way down to besiege stuff of mine and get that out. I guess I could try to white piece them, but at this point no one has lost any troops or land. Right, these guys can go home safely because they are currently in our land. So, yeah, why don't you guys go and deal with that. Okay. So we'll send Hughes along with the commander of the Bulgarian band because he's not bad. And another skilled general. We'll send you guys up into the Russian vasts to hopefully take care of whatever they come up with. Oh wait! The Holy Roman Empire has declared war on me. Okay, well, what's this about? And also, I'm not sure it makes a ton of sense. Oh, he's got somebody who's got a claim on my empire, too. I'm not really sure why it's... Okay, well, now I've got two claims on my empire. I've got a claim being pressed by the Russians, and I've got a claim being pressed by the Holy Roman Empire. Now, fortunately, attacking the Holy Roman Empire is a little bit easier because they have territory in Spain that we can use the Mauritanian levy and, if necessary, the African levy to go after. The only issue is how many troops are they going, how many troops do they have, and where are they going to send them? You know, these are the things that we don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and create the Duchy of Alba-Rhine while we're paused. And then we can either just give it directly to the King of Egypt, or we can find somebody to give it to. Okay, but I still need these armies to move out of this territory, because one of these armies is the African levy, and if I can disband the African levy, I can re-raise it somewhere more appropriate, like, you know, Africa, not East Africa, but, you know, the Roman idea of Africa. So let's see here. I know these wonderful little wars against these people. Still can't raise any troops from Sicily, and I'm not really sure if that's because she's at war or if she doesn't like me. You know, she's still a Miaphysite with all that comes with that. I can't raise the Mauritanian levy over here because I've already raised them in Spain. So I'm going to have to try to raise the African levy, and I need to raise, I guess I need to re-raise the Egyptian levy. It's not going to be, I don't think I'm going to get the full 30,000 from the Egyptians, just because there were some people who died through attrition in the war over here in Isfahan. All right, I've successfully improved my martial ability, so we can stop trying to do that. We'll improve our learning, no, our diplomacy. Try to maximize our good relationship with our vassals. And our forces still haven't reached friendly territory from where we can disband them and re-raise them somewhere else. I'm not committed yet to okay, I won a battle somewhere. Oh yeah, in Spain. Forgot about that. Okay, now I have forces. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get rid of this ducal title. Because if I don't, then people will hate me more, and it just be self-inflicted, because you know, because I know that about these ducal titles. Okay, well, I mean, ordinarily I would be happy that the French and the Pope are fighting, or whatever is going on. Oh wow, okay, there are two Holy Roman Empire armies around my territory. There's one that's not very big to the northeast, then there's a bigger one to the southwest. attacking, I think, one of my vassals. Although it's listed as neutral troops, so I'm not sure what exactly. Alright, so this takes care of disbanding all the Persian forces, I believe. So don't worry about that anymore. Kingdom of Sicily still holding out on giving me any troops. King of Africa has got essentially his full liege or his full levy back. So we're going to go ahead and send those guys to the boats, and we'll move them into Spain. Because that's the only place the Holy Roman Empire has sent an army so far. I thought they might send an army through Greece or something like that. You know, directly at some of my stuff, but they haven't done that yet. Sure, we're going to we'll increase town infrastructure. We got time. So now I'm going to raise my own levy again. We're going to have to unify them in Alexandria like we usually do, and then we'll have to send them by boat. The question is where? Do we want to send them to Spain? Or do we want to send them to Italy? I think Italy is probably a better idea. The difficulty here is that the Holy Roman Empire doesn't control anything in the middle of Italy, and our supply routes aren't very good going through the Apennine Mountains without a lot of support. All right, and then we have the Egyptian levy. A little bit beat up. You can see it's only 24,000 instead of the 30,000 that we were getting. We could send those guys to Italy. If we did that, we'd have to be careful. We just need to be careful about where we put them. Obviously, we can land as far north as Capua without any sort of concern. But then kind of getting them to go into the territory of the Holy Roman Empire from there is going to be a little bit harder. Just a bit harder. We need more commanders to help out over here. Yeah, and our little expedition into Russia, we're going to have to leave that largely in the hands of unskilled people. Okay, well, I think we've accomplished what we can here. I think we can finally leave the pause button. Not really sure what the king of Syria is doing in the Byzantine Empire. But he has the levy I could use. The Persian levy would just be really far away, but I could call it in theory. Maybe we should save it. Worry about it later. But we do have the option of raising it and sending it around the sea to Egypt, and then sending it via the Egyptian fleet into Europe. So I think that's what we're going to do. So what we're looking at here is, there's definitely an avenue of attack here against the Holy Roman Empire's Spanish possessions. We're also going to launch an attack through Italy. And okay, whatever. I kind of need commanders. I don't know. I assume that's who this is. It's basically just a commander. All right, well, we managed to convince him to come around. Oh, no, he's not a commander. He's a... What are you, exactly? There's no one to marry in my court. You a chancellor? Is that what I'm trying to do here? I've got my daughters, but I really don't want him to marry one of them, considering he's a guy I just kind of picked out of random. So let's go, there you go, marry her. All right, so I have the Egyptian levy inside. All right, so now we're back here in, I know for you guys, no time is left, but I actually had to take a break from recording in order to, well, first off, reset the Windows Media Player time limit, because it only goes to an hour. And second, I got to go and do some other things, because now I've got to defend my throne against 2 other people. Now, I'm not really too concerned about this Russian princess who's evidently pressing the claim of somebody in her court. But I am kind of concerned about the Holy Roman Empire. I suggested to you before I cut off, and again, it won't sound this way because for you there won't be any break at all, that I launch a 3-pronged attack at the empire. Spain, Italy, and maybe the Balkans. I mean, you can see there's territory over there that the Empire controls in the Balkans. Unfortunately, just like all the other territory, the supply limits have to be addressed. I've got to be able to deal with the supply limits if I want to make that work. I don't know who Sicily is still at war with, largely because I don't remember, but I now have the Egyptian troops in that place. I'm gathering up the royal levy, and I'm moving the Persian levy through the Arabian Sea to the Red Sea in order to bring them into the fight at some point too. And largely the problem right now is just what I don't know. You can see that there are, I think that was 14,000 imperial troops marching around in Spain. And I have somewhere, I can't quite make the number out, I think 19,000 of my own. You'll have better luck with that number because the resolution should hopefully be better on YouTube than it is in my preview window. And of course we have a rebellion in Cyprus because we always have a rebellion in Cyprus. And so this is kind of where we're stuck at the moment. Aha! And here is a 14,000 man imperial army moving south from Italy and moving to Capua to besiege it. This probably is what I should do. I shouldn't probably send. I mean, the point of sending the invasion force, ultimately was to siege out. I'm not even sure what the capital of the Holy Roman Empire is at this point. I mean, Aachen. Okay, good. And I just converted Tortosa, so I'll be able to move my court chaplain somewhere else. But due to that one little siege, our positive war score against the Holy Roman Empire was wiped out. Okay, so based on this, oh, here's more imperial troops. There is an imperial presence in Russia. It's kind of weird to think of that, but it's there. And that's these troops. Actually, it looks like they defeated my army, because my army looks like it's on a retreat path. So I need to deal with those guys. So instead of me invading the empire from 3 different directions, it seems like I'm being invaded by 3 different directions. I've got imperial troops attacking me in Spain, I've got imperial troops attacking me in the Kingdom of Sicily, and I've got imperial troops attacking, evidently, in Russia. So what I'm going to do is sort of conservatively play down here in Spain while the bigger armies are not present. I'm going to use the Egyptian levy to wipe out this imperial army in Italy, and I'm going to figure out where to send the reinforcements, but it's all really it's all really about the supply limits. I mean, this is the trouble of trying to run around the map with big armies. And historically speaking, these armies aren't necessarily so big. In fact, historically speaking, I think my entire troop strength So if I raised everybody, I think is only around, the game listed about 150K. I'm pretty sure that we could have done a little bit better than that, but I might be wrong about that. After all, we're not really conscripting the populace so much as we're bringing in all of our vassals' bodyguards. All right, so we converted Tortosa. Now I'm going to go and send it down to Accra and deal with that little problem. I'm going to send my own levy northward to deal with whatever remains of that Imperial army coming from over the Caucasus. And I'm going to send the Persian levy, I believe, into Europe. Okay, we're fighting a big battle against the Imperials in Sicily. So it might depend on how this battle turns out as to where our men go. It would have been nice to kind of sucker the Holy Roman Empire into attacking the Sicilian army while we were there. Geez. Well, we're going to lose this battle too, so now we know exactly where the Persian levy are going to go. They're going to go straight to Italy. Not sure how far into Italy that the Egyptian levy is going to retreat, but so they're in Capua. We're going to land next door in Amalfi and march north. We're besieging these two territories in Spain. Hopefully, the amount of strength we have between the two armies in Spain together be enough to resist any particular imperial army that comes through. I don't necessarily know that to be the case. We're just hoping. All right, my retreating retinue and barbarian forces have recovered. And we've raised this, I guess, the Syrian army levies. Again, this is all to get rid of those imperial troops in the north, and we just lost one of our commanders. We'll just have to stick a warrior bishop in there. He's not very good, but kind of don't have a lot of time to go recruiting at the moment. Okay, our army has gained some strength from retreating. But the Persian levy should be larger than the army that we sent anyway. So we'll send these three generals into the fight, take the fight to, well, okay, we didn't get there. Battle of Tortosa. Okay, we're getting just lots of bad news here. We need to turn this around. the small Russian army has shown up attacking stuff on my northern frontier. And now we're going to march the Persians into Capua and challenge the imperial army that is there. We'll drop the Egyptian fleet so we can grab them later if we need them. Okay, it looks as if the Imperial Army showed up and ran off our one of our siege forces here. And that's a humongous army. I think that says 40,000. I mean, wow, I don't think I've ever had an army quite that big in one place, mainly because you can't supply it. But that would be a problem. An army that large would probably take all of Spain. So, I could use some good news right now. We still haven't attacked the Imperial Army in Italy. So, change of affairs in the Italian front would be nice. Since they've already started sieging Capua, they have 40,000 men moving here. There's also an Imperial fleet down in the bottom. You can sort of make it out. And the Venetians are at war with somebody, but they're just marching through my territory. They're not doing anything to me. For the most part, things seem rather calm. No, I don't want to excommunicate my friend, the King of Egypt. I love all these people that all these defensive pact people against me, which is basically everybody in the game, with the exception of a couple of people. All right, so new plan. Why don't we try to kill this woman who currently is causing way too much trouble for us. I mean, we don't have great plot power to start with, but going into the long game right now against the Holy Roman Empire might not be in our best interests. I suppose I still haven't raised everybody, like all the troops I could possibly raise. But it would really be important, if that were the case, it would really be important to have actually created some rally points, which is something Jade Dragon does. I'm not sure. I think that's one of the updated features that's just available, but you're not going to see me do it here. Instead, I'm going to send my spy master to try to kill this woman in Württemberg. Not sure how I get my spy master to Württemberg, and how they wouldn't notice immediately that he was there, considering he's one of my nobles and he's African. All right, Got the clock moving again. Yeah, there is a fleet. Now, the most men that thing can have on it, I believe, would be 5,000. Which, you know, if I'm fully committed everywhere, that would be a problem. But if I'm not going to worry about it. I'm also going to take the time to empty out my prison, because logically, when you're in a giant war that could involve your survival, the first and best response would be to, we won the battle in Italy. Our Cypriot allies are fighting the landing force here, about 3,800 men. So I've got two forces here. I've got one in Armenia, and I've got one going to attack the Russian besieging forces. So I'm going to send somebody down to deal with this guy. I don't think he can get into too much trouble before I get there. So my Asian front should be secure. The Italian sector, now that I have, I kind of sent the, I kind of sent both the Egyptian and Greek Persian levies together just to ensure victory. And I've also united the Spanish forces now. They'll take attrition, but they may not be far enough away to interest the empire. And if the emperor has moved his troops, then it's likely his next target is Italy anyway. So what I'm going to do is liberate these areas in Capua that have been occupied, and that'll give me at least a little bit of positive war score. And we'll see where the 40,000 man army shows up. Okay, whatever. You guys keep having vassal fun. I'm just... Okay, so looks like our force... We took something in Spain, but that's not surprising. Looks like one of our forces caught up with the Russian army and gave it a major defeat. My spy master probably got caught in Germany being black and speaking Meroitic. I mean, I'm not really sure what our language would be at this point. Maybe just Nubian. All right, now I'm going to send a spy bishop to Württemberg to do what my spy duke could not. And let's also go ahead and ransom these people. We don't need them. They probably don't need us. We might need the money. I really wish I knew what Sicily was doing. I think they're revoking somebody's title. All right, okay, well, they've decided to go siege down that area, probably because it was weakened by somebody else. I'm just looking for any kind of victory they can get, so we're going to continue hunting down the Russian army. But we'll let the Syrian levy the Syrian levy and I think our retinues and other folks handle that. Okay, looks like one of the Russian allies has showed up in Asia Minor. And we have sieged out, and I've just approved my diplomacy. So let's go get more ambitions. We re-sieged Tiano. Really don't think intrigue is going to help at this point. Let's get learning, maybe learn some health secret or something. So I've got 12,000 men left over here in the Spanish front. Oh wow. The Imperial army has attacked not the Sicilian army, but some other large force that in theory I could help them with if I could get there in time. I don't think I'm going to get there in time. Instead, I'm going to try to defeat this other Imperial army while that one's occupied. The benefit of staying down here in southern Italy is the force limits are greater. So I don't know when the equivalent of like 30,000 Imperial troops showed up in my area, but I'm quite glad they decided to stay separate from each other. So I'm basically forced now to march on Amalfi and to deal with that guy. So that's not going badly. Got a victory over here against the opportunist naval invasion that the Imperials launched. They're going to run away. I need to figure out what I want to do with these 15,000 men, because if I can just knock out the Russians and their allies over here, now first I guess I need to liberate Kurdistan. All right, now army has engaged the other Holy Roman Empire army in the area. So let's see what you got here. Imperials. Let's go ahead and I'm going to send these guys to Alexandria and boat them over. I'm going to assume that the 2,000 German troops that are left can be dealt with. More important for me to find a new avenue of invasion. Also trying not to commit any of my best generals to this particular force because they're not going to be in trouble right away. Okay, so we're being sieged somewhere. Still sieging stuff in that one Spanish province, and we still have Tarragona. We're still stuck in the middle of battle against the other half of that Holy Roman Imperial Army. And I don't know if this is the 40,000 troops that I'm fighting in two distinct battles. Okay, you guys don't need more tithes. Okay, we just won the Battle of Amalfi. I don't think that they sieged out anything in Amalfi. There's nothing really good up here to go after in the Imperial Italian area. What I really need to look for is some place that I can support my armies when they get there. Like I could support them in Istria. Maybe I should just sail them over. Actually, I don't think I can land in hostile territory. I guess I could try reorienting an invasion from the Balkans. Okay, well, I think our siege... Alright, so they've got 1,500 men left, and now they're sieging territory in Giza. That seems like a stretch. Not Giza, sorry. I think that's Siwa. I'm trying to unsiege Kurdistan. And empty my prison from the last war I fought. Alright, let's see if we can run down these. Now that we've saved Kurdistan, let's see if we can run down these allies. And then, after we run down those allies, let's go run down these imperial troops that are touring the Duchy of Alexandria at the moment. Alright, so I have a... So this is a war between Sicily and Africa, which is not a good thing for me because both of them are my vassals. Alright, so I'm trying to move the army up through territory that's under its supply limit. We're still besieging that one Spanish province over there. But at least the war score likes us at the moment. Okay, Sicily and Africa are no longer at war. I need a new steward. I'm going to pick up this mayor. I'm not going to worry about the fact that he's not a noble. You know, I have a bishop on my council too at the moment. Okay, so I decided to land the retinues and the Syrian levy and the Bulgarian mercenaries in Spain. Try to siege that area out faster, since right now I'm pushing into the Italian area, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to run into. Where exactly the best place for me to go is. Meanwhile, you know, I've got the Cypriots fighting down here. I've got, I guess, somebody's retinue fighting up there. I'm not, yeah, in this place. So now I've got peasants also trying to slow me down. All right, we were victorious in another siege. That's good. I wonder, since Sicily and Africa have stopped fighting, if the Sicilians would finally give me some manpower support. Another thing about this is I've got to march through all this French territory before anything happens. We'll disband the Egyptian fleet. Okay, we've sieged out this area in Spain. The princess in Russia who was attacking us has died and handed over rule to her son, who we probably contributed to his bloodline in some way. I've got one army that's going to head toward, or the army that's sieged out that area is going to head toward Zaragoza. All right, we're going to keep marching north. Unfortunately, we're being affected by attrition. Now, Milan really doesn't seem like the answer. Maybe some of these quote-unquote Italian French possessions? Like Nice? Or Provence? Of course, Provence is in France proper. Imagine that's where the King of Burgundy is hanging out. Aha! There's an Imperial force. Hold on. How big is it, and what is it trying to do? Okay, well, there's a 24,000 man Imperial force near the Alps. My steward died, probably because he was old. My new steward's not much younger, so he'll probably die too. Gotta go somewhere where I'm not suffering attrition. I mean, I could try Genoa. But at this point, I'm also disconnected from my territories. So my army is not in a particularly safe place. Probably its best bet would have been to retreat, or its best bet would have been to never leave Sicily. Okay, so we have a good-sized Holy Roman Army. Okay, the Holy Roman Empire's capital currently looks like it's in Amsterdam or somewhere in Holland. Alright, so as soon as I'm done besieging this part of Tarragona with this army, I'm going to send it south and try to run those guys out of my territory where they're currently besieging one of my Spanish provinces. And we'll keep besieging Zaragoza. Oh, never mind, they're going to come to us. It's probably not a good idea. But they do have, oh wow, they're going to try to sandwich my army there. I think they're probably going to succeed. Meanwhile, they have another huge army that's sort of paralleling the progress of my big army. My big army, which is currently in the French territory of Genoa, is suffering attrition. I really think it's going to have to get all the way to Provence before it can actually do anything useful. And that's if it survives an encounter with the German army. I mean, I'm glad I've got 73% war score, or whatever the number is right now, because tactical situation in Spain is questionable at best. So I guess I could try to sea lift these troops over to Spain and there fight the major forces. I'm moving my Zaragozan armies to reinforce the 15,000 men that are in Spain. And now the battle has started. And I've fulfilled another ambition. Well, that was good of me. Problem is my army is probably going to get beat here. And if I can't get the Egyptian force, or sorry, if I can't get the force over from France, then we're going to be in not so good shape in Spain. Okay, we lost the battle in Spain. And there are a lot of imperial troops in Spain. Interestingly, our defeated forces have decided to run for our other army in Genoa, even though it's currently on the move to take over the position in Spain. So yeah, this was not well thought out. In fact, I'm not sure I won't have them retreat all the way to Sicily. Okay. So here we go. We're going to attack we're not doing so hot morale-wise. I think we could still be under the effects of just landing off of the ship. We've got the numbers. Okay, we're going to have a vote. Oh, we successfully fought them off. Okay, we're going to run down that German army and wipe it out. Can I support 22,000 men in Tarragona? Meanwhile, I'm going to raise my intrigue. I don't know if we can or we can't, but we're going to go back to besieging that area. We're going to unify my two armies in Genoa, and we're going to have to send them. Well, they're not very big. We could actually send them to besiege something in this area, assuming that we don't get caught and stomped in the meantime. Alright, I'm not really sure what we're going to have to do to close this war. With the Imperials here. I'm still quietly trying to kill the woman. Ah! The big Holy Roman Empire army returns. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have any reinforcements I can send here. The only thing I can do is put a better general in charge. Alright, well, could use some more money. Yeah, if we get beat here in this Spanish battle, we're just going to have to back off and take it. Not really sure where to just sort of grab a bunch of troops quickly. I do have this army right here in Sai, or Sais. I could send it in. I'd basically just be giving up on the eastern part of the map for a while, but that's not like there's anything hugely exciting going on there anyway. Probably another reinforcement drive to Spain, I would guess. Well, you know, we can do something. Yeah, one of the things that I like is that whenever they tell you they've come of age, they show you one more time with their childhood stats. So I don't necessarily know what their adult stats are unless I was to click away and click back and that kind of thing. All right, so she's now married to, I think, the King of Sicily. Not sure. Maybe the King of Mauritania. Well, I'll take it back. I can't pay that much money right at the moment. All right, but we are winning. Well, you know, things happen when you're oh, good, Emperor Samson the Fat, who controls way too much territory because he also controls the Kingdom of Persia and its vassals, and I've got to organize that sooner rather than later. You'd be put in the middle of a war and to have a really kind of why do you have a low-born Yazidi wife? Were you trying to make friends, or was she just that charming? Yeah, we're going to kill her. And we're going to try to up our martial score a little bit. Our court chaplain resigned, but we're going to grab him back. And we're going to once more send him on the conversion trail back to, I think we had an Acre before, but we'll send him north of Acre to Tyr, I believe, based on stuff. Oh, and I've now got the Persian retinues as part of my retinue. So fortunately, there was no major Persian war going on right now where I have to micromanage a large number of Persian troops. I just need to bring the new Persian troops over to deal with some of these older guys. But I'm going to have to lose some stuff in order to save stability in my kingdom. So, okay, we're not disbanding the retinues. I guess I just need them. I guess I've also inherited all my own marshals, which for the moment could be a good thing because that will give me a temporary access to more generals than I would normally have. And so I can put more guys in more slots. Because that's kind of important right now. All right, so my heir is currently my uncle. So again, we're kind of close to the end of the game, about 6 years, so it doesn't really bother me that it's not my son. I'm going to go ahead and give him the titles I would usually give an heir to the throne, so that I don't have to. Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about how many duchy titles I have. Some of the kingdom titles are kind of worthless. Evidently, I control the counties of Kurdistan and Al-Aqaba. Okay, so I really don't. No, I don't want to give that stuff away. Let's start with the obvious stuff. All right, I'm going to make you King of Persia. And okay, they got my vassal count back under control. I do have a problem. It did cost me a commander, or possibly a cupbearer and a possibly a designated regent. All right, well, who do I want to be my designated regent then? Usually like this person to be somewhat well-rounded, so we'll go with the Duke of the Tigris. And we'll just try to make a few friends here. Make the Duke of Jerusalem the cupbearer. And I don't think we lost any commanders in that. I think it was just the designated regent got reassigned underneath the Kingdom of Persia. Alright, so now the issue is just our domain limit. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to kill our wife so we can marry a better wife. I'm sure everyone was real thrilled when he married the Yazidi commoner girl. But the political usefulness of that is over. I've got what I would call, they're not Syrian counties, maybe Iraqi counties. Depends on what the map wants to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a number of them to this guy under the Duchy of Kurdistan. And I've got too many vassals again, but I'm going to give the Duke of Kurdistan over to the King of Persia, I believe. Maybe I can just make the King of Persia the King of Iraq and give him lower titles, and that would do it. All right. Over the vassal limit, I do need to do something about that. Now, I control several duchies that are just sort of out there, and I can easily transfer to someone else. Like my uncle and presumed heir. So I'm going to rebuild the kingdom. So I'm going to give him the Kingdom of Iraq. I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think that did anything. So, we're just, usually I do this kind of land management off screen, but I really want to get back to this war. And I need to get this settled because I don't want to have a huge unhappiness problem in the middle of a war against the Holy Roman Empire. All right, so okay, I've got Kurdistan. There he is. So I send him to Persia, and now my vassal count is back under control, and I'm still a little bit over my domain size, but at least we've reduced the modifiers somewhat. If I can kill my wife and marry somebody better, I hopefully will be able to keep all those 10 counties without having to lose any more of them. And we need to reactivate the plot to kill the person claiming my throne. All right. Now we've successfully, well, all right, well, she's going to die. That plot power all of a sudden jumped, and all of a sudden I've gone to 100% war score with the Holy Roman Empire. Let's see how long it takes me to notice. Yeah, that last big battle in Spain was evidently enough to suggest that I would not be swayed. And that leaves me with just one war left to take my throne, and that's the little Russian force that's still too small to siege anything, running around my territories. And I might have to do an expedition into Russia to go get them. So that would best be done by the retinues and the mercenaries. Currently it's 75% threat, which is, it means I might be able to have another war before this game ends. We're still 6 years away from the end of the game. All right, so we'll send those guys in that direction, and we'll try to get everybody else home. And oh, I'm actually serving in the army. Well, that's cute, but my name is Duke Samson the Fat. I don't think that I'm necessarily best qualified soldier. Not really on the front lines either. I'm just sort of there. Okay, well now I can spend my attention trying to kill her again. Well, the previous wife wasn't so great either, and she was the Lollard. Okay, looks like the defensive packs are adjusting again, but that's not going to... Okay. Oh, we didn't kill her. Okay, but we're going to try to kill her again. It would be good if we sent the army home. So a lot of these troops aren't mine. You know, they're my... Oh, good. So, our wife is dead. we can now marry the largest management score available to us. Because again, we're not really concerned about having kids necessarily at this rate. Game's got 6 years to go. Okay, we've reaffirmed our piety. We got married. We're over our vassal limit. Looks like we're over our holding limit. Got Zabulistan sitting out here. I've also got I'm going to make him the king of Al Jazeera. Now, that should take care of. That should shuffle some duchies around. Still got too much land. And I've lost my designated region by doing this. Right, trying to figure out what if there's any sort of holdings that I have that I don't need. Oh, it looks like I have Luristan. Yeah, I don't really need the county of Luristan. I'm going to give you the county of Luristan. Okay. County of Bura. Okay, well, I definitely don't need that. All right, where is Bura? Ooh, I control the county of Nasiban. Also don't really need that. Do I control the duchy of? No, I don't control the duchy of this area. Okay, so who does? I mean, yeah, we're gonna change our mind here. Instead, I want to have a son with my new wife, a little bit older, not a big deal. And I need to get rid of those two counties. They're in the Duchy of Jazeera. Is there somebody who is the Duke of Jazeera? Tell you what, we'll give the Duke of Kurdistan we'll give him Bura. Okay. And then we'll also give him there it is, Nisibis or Nisibis. And yeah, we got down to our domain limit. Excellent. So we defeated the Holy Roman Empire. We got down to we had a succession. We got down to our domain limit. And honestly, I don't find these people threatening at all. So let's just get out of it. I'm not going to gain anything by marching up to Russia and sieging out their stuff. So we'll just white piece them out, bring our guys back home to our Greek territories. And then we will have to play out the last, I'd say, about 5 years of the campaign. And certainly do it in a much smaller episode than this one was. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. And I hope you have a happy new year, because this episode will probably pop up post-Christmas, but pre-January 1st. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.